Welcome to Subgenre Sickos, the podcast where we analyze movies from specific small genres that pop up for a few years and then fade away for the most part. We look at the signifying tropes, notable figures, what works, what doesn't work, and their enduring legacies. So join us, won't you, while we discuss the movies. Creeps, sickos, ghouls, Blu-ray bros, DVD dames, and VHS kids. Welcome to Subgenre Sickos, the show that is explained in the intro to the show because I don't want to remember that much of stuff. I am one of your hosts, Greg Orm, and with me, as always, is...
another one of your hosts, Steve Skinner. We got a movie to talk about.
We have a guest today, and it's my cat. I don't know if you heard that, but she introduced herself too.
Hopefully, she's a bit more contributive than the fly we had last week.
Yeah, I was thinking actually after I edited that whole episode, I think that's not just a first for our podcast, but a first for all of podcasts. It is the first time on air during a record that a guest has killed itself.
That is true.
I feel I haven't heard of that happening, and I feel like if a podcast guest were to kill themselves mid-record, that would make the news. Like, I'd hear about it. So,
it would at least pop up on Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah, like someone would be like, hey, did you hear about this, you morbid sack of shit? And I'd say, no, I gotta know more about this horrible thing. So anyway, congrats to us and to the world for crossing the podcast guest kills itself barrier. That's not going to happen tonight because I love my cat.
She seems happy. She doesn't seem like she wants to self-harm in any way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that she seems happy right now, but yeah, it's not in a self-harm way. It's in a she will harm me for not paying enough attention to her sort of way. So yeah, our guest is Shelley Duvall, who is a cat. And is a pretty good girl. She didn't watch very much of this movie. She mostly looked at me as if to say, why are we watching this the whole time?
Yeah.
And my only answer was, for Daddy's work that he does not get paid for.
For the love of the game, for the true sicko shit.
Yeah. Because Daddy has a disease.
Like Frownland is like for the true sickos because it's so just like raw and uncomfortable, and this one's just for the true sickos because most normal people would probably turn it off at some point. Maybe at the 5th time you see Joe Swanberg's penis, they turn it off.
Yeah. So about 15 minutes in.
Right.
This movie is 80 minutes, and the movie we are covering this week. I mean, you probably read it on the episode header when you clicked it to listen to this, unless someone just put this on and you are under duress. But the movie we're covering this week is Nights and Weekends, a film by Joe Swanberg and Greta Gerwig. They directed it together.
One of those names is much more recognizable than the other, Greg.
Yeah, and it's the one that this one is just kind of conveniently not discussed when they talk about her directorial career. Everyone just is like, yeah, she started with Lady Bird. And while that's not technically true, I can see, after having seen this twice, why she might not be that quick to correct them.
Yeah, it's I've been kind of going back and forth. It's like, how do I like this one compared to Hannah Takes the Stairs? And like there are aspects of it that I'm like think are interesting. And of course, Greta Gerwig is always good in whatever she's in. She's just naturally, I think, compelling. She just can't help
Yeah.
but be a compelling presence. But I kind of we were joking before. It's like, oh, this is kind of like can't Hannah continues to take the stairs. It's just like, oh, like
Yeah.
this is just kind of the same thing. Maybe she's a little
I
older, but the same
it's
bullshit.
she's a year older, if that.
Yeah.
They filmed this they filmed the first half of this and then they took a year off, which seems like because they were fighting in real life. Like they
Hmm.
didn't talk for 3 months and were just not getting along while they were making it. Um, and then filmed the other half a year later. And it came out the year after Hannah Takes the Stairs, so
Yeah.
she is the same age or
Mhm.
slightly older.
At least in the second part, her hair's a bit longer.
Yes, to show the passage of time. Yeah. And that's it for interesting things that happen in nights and weekends.
Yeah,
Not
it's
entirely true.
no, there's again, there's a few moments or a few interesting things like, but
Look,
it's
if we
just
start talking about Club Applebee's again for like a long time, it's the movie's fault.
might be the movie's fault, and I was I kind of mentioned this before. It's like kind of a lot of my preconceptions or view of what mumblecore is, I think, is just like, oh, this is just Joe Swanberg's
Yeah.
stuff. He does this
He
very
shows
specific
Hog
things.
he shows Hog and then makes other people also get naked with him. And then they bicker, but not in an interesting character revealing way like something like Before Midnight, but
Hmm.
more in the way of like when you're walking into your apartment building and the couple that you are always trying to avoid eye contact with is bringing their argument to you. And so you run back to your apartment. But this movie chooses to hang out with them for 80 minutes.
It is, 80 minutes of bickering and arguing. And
Yeah.
like there's no context for like who they are or how they met or why they're even together because I'm confused
Yeah.
why she likes him. I understand why he
Ooh.
likes her, but
Is
it's very
this a mystery
confusing.
movie?
Yeah,
Were
it's
we watching this the wrong way?
the
Do we need
unsolvable mystery.
do we need to stop recording and watch this again as if it were an Agatha Christie mystery?
The mystery of why Joe
Uh,
Swanberg can't make Greta Gerwig wet.
yeah. Kenneth Branagh can come in with his facial hair that's only slightly better than Joe Swanberg's in this to figure
Oh
out
yeah,
what the fuck is going on here.
the worst goatee, and it's
By
tough because
2008 standards, it's a bad
yeah,
goatee.
oh yeah. I mean,
Okay. For the
if
listener at home, we like new metal, and we are saying that this is a bad goatee. So it's pretty bad.
I was about to say, yeah, it would have been more appropriate in 1999, but in 2008, it's rough, and
Oh
yeah,
no, he would have been called a poser by all of those guys. Even David Draymond would tell him to get the fuck out.
and sign a bomb that for Israel.
Yeah. And then record the Sounds of Silence Part 2 or some shit. I don't know. That cover is a travesty. One of my coworkers, when I was working in office, the guy that doesn't do anything, one day I overheard him talking to our friend who also works there. And I was like, yeah, if you want to hear a really good song, check out Sound of Silence by Disturbed. It's really good. And I started laughing, and I didn't want to make anybody feel bad, so I just didn't explain why I was laughing.
There was a lot of good uh David Draymond talk on the most recent episode of Guys. And
Also, Guys Plus.
I mean, they're going to talk about David Draymond. They're going to talk about Sully from Godsmack and Aaron Lewis from Stained. All our faves.
That Guys Plus has introduced me to the world of 70-year-old men on YouTube that have classic rock channels and are beefing with each other over the dumbest shit. And they all have black belts in martial arts according to their gis that they just like have in frame. And they talk a lot about how they know martial arts, and it's very directed at each other.
They have
okay,
very
you're
strong
both
opinions
70.
about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and who belongs and who doesn't. But
Oh, that was one of yeah. The main guy that they talk about had some thoughts about this year's nominees, which include the Wu-Tang Clan and Mariah Carey, or as he called her, Mariah Scary. And
not a Christmas
yeah,
fan.
Yeah, and then a couple other people that like it makes sense why they're on the ballot because they're important to pop music, but old racist and sexist white guys with long hair that have black belts in a very specialized type of taekwondo that they only teach in Korea and not here.
You haven't even
Yeah.
heard of this taekwondo, but yeah, they're talking about on Guys. David Draymond just wanting to debate everyone, like he wants to debate Jack White, and
Oh,
and
God.
Chris brought up the point. It's like he thinks he's very stupid. Like he's mainly known for making monkey noises. Like those are the most impactful Disturbed lyrics are monkey noises.
And he wants to debate Jack White, who, outside of his music, is arguably most famous for punching the lead singer of the Von Bondies in the face so much time that it fucked up his face. Like, he beat the
Okay,
shit out of that guy. I don't know. Maybe it's like, I don't know if you had heard about that. I was very,
had
very
not.
focused on the world of Detroit-based garage rock in 2003, so I was very aware of it.
I mean, I guess he is from Detroit, so you don't step up to the Detroit guy.
To the Dre Man. Maybe that's what we should call him on this show, the Dre Man.
We love the Dre Man. Wah!
Wah!
It's harder to do when you're not warmed up, so maybe he does have some talent making those monkey noises. Oh yeah, and then they're like, yeah, he has his other most famous song is called "Stupefy." He's, just ready to join Mensa.
And then his other most famous song is an absolute butchering of one of the most beautiful pop songs ever written.
Is it? No, it's Fear Factory. I think does the Shout remake, Shout 2000. That is good because I'm like, maybe they have a good cover, but I think that's Fear Factory.
Fear Factory definitely did a cover of Cars by Gary Newman.
Oh, that was it. Let's see.
And that kicked ass. And then Orgy did Blue Monday by New Order. And that was, at the time, I thought that was really cool. I haven't heard it in 20 plus years, so who knows what I would think about it now.
I still think it's a banger, but it was Disturbed. They did Shout 2000, which is not bad, which is good. Sound of Silence, not good.
Yeah. When that Orgy cover of Blue Monday was out, I had my Canadian friend that I think I've mentioned on the show before. He wanted to move back to Canada, where he grew up, and he didn't like his stepdad, who was very nice to us and mostly just like left us alone or played GoldenEye with us and didn't even ask us what we were doing. He just figured whatever these 14-year-old boys in my basement are doing, it's none of my business. But for some reason, my friend did not like him. So he wrote them a goodbye note to try to talk them into letting him move to Canada, which worked. And it was mostly the lyrics to Blue Monday, which we only knew as an Orgy song at the time. Like, how does it feel to treat me like you do? And it's like, I've been to this house, like, it's just like they give you pizza and pretzels and don't ask us what we rented from the video store. So, like, that's pretty good.
I mean,
And
the essence of new metal is feeling like your life is terrible, even though it's very stable and you have loving parents.
here is the real curveball. That friend did not like new metal at all and used to make fun of us for listening to it. He liked Canadian pop punk almost exclusively,
Like the Tragically Hip.
like Gob. And if you haven't heard
Ugh.
Gob, that's because you live in America and don't have a Canadian friend 25 years ago. Gob is not a bad band, they just didn't really break out of Canada.
I see. I see. I I
Yeah.
did buy for my
It's
birthday. I did buy myself a corn shirt and a corn hat, so I'm very excited about that. Speaking of
it's
new
exciting.
metal, I'm gonna wear it to Luke's wedding.
Oh, hell yeah. I gotta check to see if there's a dress code for that. Um, do you know what they call now? Now that's what I call music in Canada.
The Royale with cheese.
Close. Big shiny tunes.
I do like that. Actually, it's good.
Yeah, it actually is cool. Like he burned me Big Shiny Tunes 2, which had like Blur Song 2 and Breathe by Prodigy and like a bunch of cool stuff that I really liked. And then a bunch of very specifically Canadian songs, which makes me feel really cool when I'm watching something like Letterkenny and one of those bands shows up because I have heard of them like a real 2000s hipster. Like, you can't even get this shit in the US, and I know about it.
Kind of like the ketchup flavored potato chips,
Yeah.
or Macintosh
They have.
toffee, or Big Turks. My mom is Canadian, so
Oh, I did not know that.
yeah. I mean, she hasn't. I think she renounced her citizenship when she became an American citizen. I mean, yeah, we'd go. I've only been there a couple times, and it was like southern Alberta, so it's pretty much the same as northern Idaho.
That's the only area of Canada that I've been to, too. Well, I've been to, like, Calgary and Edmonton,
Mm,
which are mid Alberta.
yeah.
They're, like, the nicer parts of Alberta, but then we also stayed in a couple smaller areas. We went on, like, a high school band trip
Oh,
through Canada. And it's where I saw my first Russ Meyer movie on TV at 2 o'clock in the morning when, as 17-year-old high school boys do, we were trolling the channels looking for naked people.
well, had you known about Joe Swanberg and his propensity to have everyone be naked in his
Yeah.
movies, you could have saved yourself some. I guess. I mean,
Beef.
his rise is after your high school band days, but you know.
Yeah. And also Russ Meyer is better because his movies are fun. They're not just bickering, it's just women with the largest breasts you've ever seen, like kicking ass and getting into slapstick hijinks and being very over the top. And sometimes it's with a script written by Roger Ebert.
That is true.
Yeah, Russ Meyer kicks ass. And thank you, Canada, for playing Beneath the Valley of the Super Vixens on basic cable, unedited, at 2 in the morning.
Seems like on cable at 2 in the morning is the right time to watch a Russ Myers movie.
Yeah, I watched it with my brother and another, at the time, we'll say friend. I haven't talked to him in a long time, and he actually wasn't that nice to me in retrospect. Uh, that kid was definitely freaked out. I am unsure how my brother felt about it, but I was loving it because that one is especially silly.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I was very into whatever the hell that was.
Nice. Mr.
Anyway,
Myers.
so I
Back
think Russ Meyer might be our Club Applebee's.
maybe I haven't seen any of his movies. I just know that Roger Ebert
Oh,
wrote one of them, and that they have
yes.
big bosomed ladies in them.
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is so Roger Ebert wrote two, and one of them used a pseudonym. But
Mm.
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is Russ Meyer's most famous movie, and that one is the main one that Ebert wrote. And it is a wild ride. If you watch it, you'll notice some lines from Austin Powers were lifted directly from that movie. Also, a lot of the cuts and just the whole visual style of it feels very ripped straight from that movie.
Oh,
It's a treat. I highly recommend Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. It's a wild ride.
fun times, it sounds like.
It is. There is an element of the end that has not aged well, and you'll know it when you see it, but it wasn't like a pointed statement. It was something they came up with at the last minute and was outlandish enough that they all thought it was a good idea because probably everyone was smoking reefer. And now it's just a relic of things we used to think were okay.
Ain't that nothing problematic like that in Nights and Weekends, except for the
The
constant.
goatee.
I guess the goatee has not aged well at all, but at least he shaved it
Yeah.
in the year between filming. I was happy. I did, yeah, even make a note like no more bad goatee.
Yeah. Most of my notes are no, don't kiss him. No, don't answer the phone. Greta. Greta.
Do better, Greta.
And I don't know if you heard my cat, but that was her take too.
She's a Ladybird fan. That we know.
She's a Ladybird fan and a Saw 6 fan. And a Avatars fan.
But it's, yeah, I don't know. We are avoiding talking about this movie because it's like, what do you talk about? I don't know.
Yeah. So it starts, one of them is at the other one's place. I think she shows up at his, so they're in a long distance relationship is what this movie is. Why they're together, we've established no one
Mystery.
knows.
Unsolvable.
Not
Benoit
even
Blanc,
God.
Hercule Poirot, and even Jessica Fletcher.
They were all driven to
figure it
madness.
out.
Yeah. Angela Lansbury died trying to figure out why these two were together.
Makes sense.
R.I.P. So anyway, it starts with them getting ready to fuck on his kitchen floor as soon as she arrives at his place. Like, just opening credits, smash cut to they're all over each
distance,
other.
you know, you meet up, can't keep your hands off each other.
Yeah.
You're banging on the floor.
Yeah. Can't go to a comfortable or clean spot. We must do this on the kitchen floor right
with
now.
A sink that doesn't have a cabinet underneath, so there are just chemicals hanging out there right next to them.
Yeah. Much like my last apartment. There were no... Yeah. That shithole. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a good 5 minutes of the movie is just watching that.
Yeah.
If it weren't for all the bickering and the times that they start to have sex and don't, one might confuse this for the lowest budget Skinamax movie ever made. But I don't remember a lot of bickering.
No, there's less bickering and just more moaning. And I guess that budget's $15,000 for this one. So
yeah. And that's what they spend on like the cheap soft jazz music for those Skinamax movies. That's their soft jazz budget. Is the $15,000.
Which, I mean, worth every penny. This movie is devoid of any music.
Yeah, so that's the other way that it's different from most Skinamax movies. No music, and half the time they're starting to have sex and end up just arguing instead. So then it's just like a naked argument.
Pretty much. And yeah, I think just like every interaction, it's just like you should just not be in a relationship with him. Like early on,
Yeah.
he eats a banana that has a brown spot, and it's kind of like Chekhov's brown spot. Like, is he gonna eat that brown spot? Like, it seems like he's gonna do that. And then he eats the brown spot, which rightly disgusts her. And she's like, "Oh, it's like I think the grossest thing in the world is like watching another person eat a banana," which was feeling it in that moment because I was also disgusted.
Yeah. This is not a video podcast, so you guys can't see me like holding back dry heaves remembering this part of the movie.
Yeah, because he like opens up his mouth to show where the banana. It is just
Yeah.
disgusting, and
At which point I was like, is this a movie about an abusive relationship? That's really mean to do.
it is really
And
mean.
it's not abusive per se. It's just unpleasant.
It's yeah, he just does not seem to have any redeeming qualities. But the banana thing just reminded me. My growing up, my older sister had a reputation in the family for like hating bananas, and like my cousins would literally like grab bananas and like chase her around the house. And I didn't get it, but
Yeah.
but after watching this movie, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, it is a totally rational fear to have. It's a total.
Oh yeah. I would only eat like pristine fresh bananas. If it had a brown spot, I just couldn't.
I just eat banana Laffy Taffies. That's about as close as I get.
I just watch Minions. That's
Oh,
as close as I get.
they do love their bananas.
Banana. I've only seen the first Despicable Me, and I don't remember it very well. So I don't even actually do that. I lied to everyone, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I lied to you about pretending to care about Minions to seem cool online.
That is how you get online cred, is especially with the ants. The ants love those minions.
Oh, do they ever?
But I guess
I
yeah.
didn't know. I didn't know all the minions were MAGA, but thanks to everyone alive's aunt, I do now.
I mean that's why they pointedly have the minions be frozen during the rise of Hitler in the Minions movie. They're like, we're just gonna avoid this whole thing. They'll be
Yeah.
frozen, and then right in 1950 they'll get unfrozen.
Yeah, I thought they were speaking gibberish when I watched it, and I guess I just wasn't smart enough to hear what they were actually saying, which was things like, last time I checked, this country's running low on common
It
sense.
is true. We've lost it.
Yeah.
We've lost our common sense.
My tax money shouldn't be going to build roads. It should be going to buy me a steak. Or whatever the hell those memes say. I don't know.
Wasn't that the podcast Minion Death Cult is like all about weird Facebook things?
I never
I've
listened to it.
let's see what Minion memes we got here.
Yes.
We have a minion that's done up like Wolverine that says, "I just stepped on cornflake. Now I am officially a serial killer." We have a minion dressed as a sexy French maid that says, "Respect your parents. They pass school without Google." This one I like. I'm just gonna. This is one you really have to see it for yourself.
Is it the one that I just found? That says, yuck! I just stepped in a big pile of Monday. Oh, here's one. Ever been so drunk you got hit by a parked car? Okay, but I have been hit by two deer or by a deer and a bird, I guess. Like, not that I hit them. That's a different thing, and I've been in that situation with a deer too, where
Oh,
I hit the
Jesus.
deer. But my car has been stopped in traffic, and a deer ran into the back of my car. Like, I was just sitting there, and then I looked in my side window, and I just saw a deer run up and smack the back side of my car and bounce off it and then, like, run off. And then about a year ago, I was driving home from the store, and a bird, I watched it fly up off the sidewalk and then hit the side of my car. And I don't know what happened to it after
I'm
that.
gonna ask if it lived because it sounded kind of like the fly that killed itself on air.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't stop. But I like didn't see a carcass in the road when I looked in the rearview mirror, so who knows? It was very strange. This is really important.
I mean, more compelling. The minions are, bananas, eating gross bananas with your mouth open.
Okay,
Just,
I've got two more good ones. You know my name, not my story. You see my smile, not my pain. You notice my cuts, not my scars. You can read my lips, not my mind. Yeah, so funny stuff. The
very good.
other one that I really like uh, says, I don't care who the IRS sends, I am not washing my balls. And the website that one is from is called Minion Memes for Moms.
They love it. Uh, the police pulled me over and asked me, "You know how fast you were going?" I said, "Obviously not, because I was beating my son."
That's a Minions meme.
Think it's again the anti-meme. Okay, so we have the BuzzFeed 23 Minion memes that are so damn true from 2017. A woman can only run as fast as her boobs will allow her, with a minion dressed up as Storm for some reason. Life is not a box of chocolates, it's more like a jar of jalapenos. What you do today can burn your ass tomorrow.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
This one has two minions and they're wearing overalls and like doing excited poses, and it just says, Your father and I are getting a divorce.
Like if you have ever pushed a door that said pole.
I've done that.
Dear Karma, I have a list of people you missed.
This is going to
Don't
be a
judge
fun
me
way to
because I'm
find out
quiet.
that the Venn diagram of people that like Minions memes and like our show is a circle, and we've just
Yeah.
alienated everybody.
This one I gotta finish. Don't judge me because I'm quiet. No one plans a murder out loud.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
BuzzFeed. Too true, BuzzFeed. Too true.
Yeah. Oh, man. We were making fun of these a minute ago, but I think I've fully come around and embraced them. I am 40, so that's something.
Some of them are good. You're hitting the middle aged when the
Yeah.
the minion memes start to hit different.
Yeah. This is all just true to life. It's like the minions are inside my brain and saying the words that they find.
Yeah.
That's what this is like.
Oh, those minions. But yeah,
Anyway,
this movie.
so after
So
they fuck on the
SWAT
door, they go out into the
they're
hallway and we get a conversation mostly out of context. Like, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? But they are eating, so maybe they're talking about that. And then they're just fighting.
always fighting. Yeah, he works as he lives in Chicago, she lives in New York. He's like a video game developer and she's in nursing school, I think. And yeah, they're eating lunch in like the hallway of his office where he works because he has to drop something off. But then he ends up taking too long and it annoys her. Rightfully so. And
Huh.
she's like, "Hey, like I took care of all my shit before I came here. like, couldn't you do that? And he's like, well, I couldn't do it yesterday because I don't know.
I was too busy
I had
looking
to,
at my own hog and goatee in the mirror and saying, this is what the world wants.
yeah. Then they go to the Bean in Chicago. They're hanging out at the
I
Bean.
have a note about that, which is where is everyone else? I have been to the Bean twice. Once was in worse weather than what they are experiencing in the movie, and it was still swarming with tourists. Like everywhere. And yet they are
I
alone
mean, yeah.
by the big silver bean.
I mean, maybe the Chicago Bulls had a game. This is in the era of like Joakim Noah.
Oh,
I
Derrick
don't
Rose
know.
when he
Yeah.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
bull the
still,
Bulls were
tourists don't
you,
give a shit about that. They want to take a picture with the bean.
you gotta take a picture of the beam and or the bean.
And this
And she
is,
seems happy at the bean. She's like
well,
dancing and then he starts
have you
to
ever been to the
ironically
bean?
dance. It seems fun. I've never been.
Okay,
I've only been
well,
to the Chicago airport.
good luck being sad when you're by that bean. That's what I'll tell you. I've been there twice, had a smile on my face the whole time. This is a note to
I
myself
believe you.
to find one of the photos I took of myself in the reflection of the bean, also for promo. This the promo for this episode is going to be all Minions memes and then a very distorted photo of me taking a photo of myself in the reflection on the bean and with no context. It's going to be so confusing when people are looking at the post trying to figure out what the hell this episode's about.
About yeah. Joe
And
Swanberg's nights and seminal classic nights and weekends that everyone knows so well.
and what they'll find when they listen to the episode is we mostly talk about that stuff. Minion memes. And the 2 times I saw the silver bean in Chicago.
We love the bean,
It's
don't we, folks?
it's so shiny.
But
And then if you go to the top of the Hancock Observatory, which is slightly shorter than the Sears Tower, which I don't remember the real name of it, and so I'm not going to say it.
yeah,
Ross from Friends narrates the audio tour. So if you like
hey
Ross, there you go.
does he say pivot in the audio tour?
I listened to it in 2009. I cannot remember. I do remember him trying to point out you again, this is an audio tour, so he can't point physically where his tiny little playhouse is from the top of a giant building. I didn't find it.
Sounds like a good time.
It's like Where's Waldo, but you don't care about Waldo.
I never cared about Waldo.
Oh, I did. That guy's a piece of shit. I'm gonna find him.
What was the Mormon version? The Nephite one? Like I Spy a Nephite or whatever?
Hey, so as Mormon as my family was, we didn't buy those books. We just had regular Where's Waldo.
Let's see if it's I Spy a Nephite who is very white.
We lived 300 miles away from the nearest Deseret book, and internet shopping was not what it is now. So we bought normal books.
Oh, Pat Bagley made it.
Oh,
Cartoonist for the Trib.
he's not Mormon anymore.
Nope.
And I know that because that's what it seems like every one of his cartoons is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's quite controversial in the old Utah Valley.
Yeah. Fun how that works.
His very mild critiques of the church and Republican politics.
I'm gonna put one of his cartoons in the I have to start making separate notes for things I'm doing in the promos.
But Pat Bagley was market corrected by John McNaughton as the Mormon artist doing political commentary.
I apologize for the sounds of me typing if they are coming through on the record, but this is gold, as you guys can all tell. Yeah. And John
Yeah,
McNaughton.
she's dancing. John McNaughton. We need some of his bangers. But yeah, she's dancing by the bean.
We gotta.
She wants him to be happy and
I'm
dance.
sorry.
So
Yeah.
you won't let me talk about the movie.
No, it's just we started talking about John McNaughton, and that's a door once opened. You can't just shut. There is too much going on. And I know this because all of his great artwork comes with a numeric key to explain exactly what's going on in the picture, just like all great artists do. Like this example 3 in my painting is single unwed mothers being punished for being single unwed mothers or whatever. They're as bad as Obama.
I did think one of my favorites was with like Obama standing on the Constitution and like the founding fathers like being sad, and then Clinton, FDR, and Teddy Roosevelt all applauding.
Did you ever go to like he had like a store for his art at Provo Town Center Mall? Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
I love to go in there and just like pretend that I was at like a fancy museum and just like say, what do you think the artist was trying to depict with this piece? Even though there's the numerical key right there, because subtlety is not something he's interested in at all.
Much like Garth Marenghi, he thinks that subtext is for cowards. So he's done a version of Washington crossing the Delaware, but it's Donald Trump and a bunch of people in that look like they're from Duck Dynasty, or at least in Duck Dynasty garb.
Awesome. Cool.
Here's a good one of Donald Trump praying on, I'm assuming, is the U.S.-Mexico border with a group of Democrats, including Bernie Sanders, AOC, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama, standing on an American flag while they're holding European Union flags, Iranian flags, Mexican flags, and Chinese flags.
Oh, just like in real life. Let me guess, they're wearing shirts with their names on them, and the flags are all labeled. Or
Looks
do I
like
have to refer to the numerical key?
Ilhan Omar is in the back. She's like behind Chuck Schumer, which is appropriate. And like Nancy Pelosi like has her arm up like the Black Power arm, which that
actually is kind of funny because I do remember
when credits do.
Look,
You know.
Nancy Pelosi has done some very publicly embarrassing things in the name of pretending like she cares about equality.
the kente cloth at the Capitol.
That's exactly what I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember the name of the cloth and felt like it would be bad if I said it wrong or said a different name. But yeah.
Now this one I just don't understand. It's Trump painting a picture, but there's like a cloth over the picture, and he's like unveiling it, but it's not really unveiling anything. At first, I thought it was like a picture of Jesus or something underneath it, but there is nothing under, and there's not even a. It is called let's see, The Masterpiece.
Is there
by John McNaughton?
Is there a numerical key? Perhaps that would.
There is a product description that I will read now.
Please do.
What does the future hold for America? President Trump's last few years in office have been remarkable. He has changed the direction of this country economically, devastated ISIS, negotiated with countries on the world stage, and been a powerful voice for American ideals. It hasn't been easy, as he's been blocked by both Republicans and Democrats, trashed by the media, and hunted by the deep state in an attempt to undermine his presidency, but the painting, in quotation marks, is not finished. I believe that Trump will yet reveal in the future a greater degree of prosperity, justice, and American influence that has never been seen before. His greatest achievements are yet to be revealed. How will history remember the presidency of Donald J. Trump? I will be I believe it will be considered a masterpiece. Oh my god.
You weren't looking at the video, but boy, the faces that I made while you were reading that out loud.
Oh god,
I
this
really went
is
through something right there.
bleak. This days after he threatened to uh, destroy Iran, and gas prices are raising to $6 here, so we're doing great.
Oh, they're only at 4 here for regular, but they were at under 3 a month ago.
Yeah.
I have to, because I drive a Cadillac, I have to buy the premium unleaded, so mine is at least 5, if not more.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We Costco's been pretty good, but they just decided to replace some of the they're doing a major overhaul of the Costco gas station near my home. And it is very bad timing for wanting to get gas because I am not sure when it's going to be back online.
The Costco here is far enough away that I have to buy gas to get to Costco to buy gas.
Jesus.
I mean, it's like 40
Oh,
minutes away,
man.
but still, that's a long way to go just to buy gas.
So in this image Google search for John McNaughton, for some reason there is a picture of Michael Shannon. I guess the cult film director is also called John McNaughton.
Yeah.
So that explains Michael
Yeah,
Shannon.
and he makes good movies that don't come with a numerical.
Michael Shannon.
What did he make with Michael Shannon? I'm trying.
The Harvest.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I guess I've only seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer and Wild Things, which are 2 very different movies that I love for very different reasons.
Very nice.
One is a lot more rewatchable than the other.
I know you're putting on Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer
Yeah.
every few months.
Yeah, that one is not deeply, deeply unpleasant. That was, yeah, no, that was a one-time. I'll probably watch it again eventually, but like I watched it once 8 years ago, and there are still scenes from that like when I remember them, it's just like, oh Jesus.
We have another photo with Trump in the center, flanked on either side by former presidents, all in like military garb. His foot is on the head of a snake, which is a common motif in McNaughton paintings. He's got George Washington and Ronald Reagan, and I'm guessing Thomas Jefferson on one side, and then Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and JFK for some reason on the other side, which I guess is pretty progressive by McNaughton standards.
I'm starting to think that this guy might not really understand anything.
No.
Yeah, I missed that art gallery though.
But
anyway.
Yeah, Michael Shannon, big Chicago himself. It would have been nice if he should have been at the Bean. Why couldn't he be at the Bean? Why couldn't a very different movie if she's dating Michael Shannon?
Or if he's just like there and he just like shows up and he's like, hey, quit fucking around by the Bean. Knock it off. Go home. Take that goatee and get out of here.
My bad goatee will somehow not be as bad when I play Zod in a few years.
I wonder how John McNaughton feels about the Snyderverse. Anyway,
I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't done a photo of Trump is a Superman or something.
Anyway, so they're at the bean and they're dancing around.
She's having a good time. She's
He's
dancing.
there.
She wants him to dance.
He's also at the bean. I didn't really clock what he was doing because at a certain point in this movie, i.e., extremely early, I was trying to not look at him when he was on screen.
Yeah, he's like dancing, but like in a mocking way. And
Oh,
she gets
that's
mad
right.
at him and says, "I don't respond to sarcastic
Yeah.
fun." And then and then this is when she starts crying and breaking down and being like, "Oh, like why like almost just like why what am I doing here? It doesn't seem like you
When things
care."
are
It's
wrong,
like
I
you might be
fix
onto
them. I
something.
fly out here and I fix things when they are wrong. And you are
Yeah.
sarcastic and look at your goatee or whatever. It's a
Yeah. She's like, I'm making things work in the relationship. Is like, and you're not stepping up and doing anything
yeah.
here.
He's just looking at his damn phone like a
But they end
millennial.
up at some sort of arcade and they have like there's a machine that like makes plastic animals and makes a plastic lion. I have never seen such a machine, but you said you thought there was one at the Hogle Zoo in Salt
I
Lake.
swear I've used one at the zoo. I
Yeah.
feel like we would always go to that and to the thing where it presses pennies and puts like an animal face on there, which we all regret now because there's a penny shortage.
It's true. They're gone. No more pennies.
Yeah. Uh, but anyway, this movie is 78 minutes, and at least 4 of those minutes are just a fixed camera filming the plastic lion machine making the plastic lion. And then when it's done, Greta Gerwig says, "And that's how babies are made." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. That's why we like her, because she is funny off the cuff."
He's good. And
Yeah.
it's it seems like she
It may
is
sound like I'm
more
being
excited.
sarcastic there, but I did laugh,
Yeah.
a genuine laugh. I did think that that was funny.
It's a good line, and it's like
Yeah.
the most excitement she's shown in the whole movie. But yeah, it's yeah, it's just so hard to because it's all just these kind of scenes and things, and Jay Duplass shows up for a second, and it's like, oh, cool, Jay Duplass, and then
And then
Ken
it's just
Osborne
like,
and Lynn Shelton show up, and it's like, oh, it'd be cool if these people were in the movie more. We like these people.
yeah. And you, like, I'm not even sure if you get a full shot of Lynn Shelton's face because the
I don't think
camera is
so.
mostly behind her
Yeah.
for that entire dialogue scene. But Jay Duplass and his wife at least get to say things like, "Oh, we've already messed up this baby. Whatever we are doing, it's this baby's already messed up." I I think about it a lot, but I think we've already messed up the baby.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey, there's a little bit of life in this. These people are fun. I hope they come back. And just like the Duplass and Hannah takes the stairs, they unfortunately do not come back.
Gone too soon. And yeah, then it's kind of cuts back to a short time has passed, and then it's
A
him
year.
visiting her in New York. Well, he visits her in New York, I think,
Oh, that's right.
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, this was one that I was really struggling to pay attention to at times.
Yeah, it's because yeah, he does something nice when he goes visits her in New York, and well, she lives like basically like it seems like in a closet, but at least it has windows.
Yeah, so like a normal New York
Normal,
apartment that
yeah,
one single person can afford. A
that she's
closet
paying
with a
like
window.
$2,000 for.
Exactly.
He brings her running shoes because she runs, and it's the only good thing he does in the movie. It's the
Yeah,
only
and
sweet thing he does, and
then he makes fun of her for having like a $800 shirt or whatever. And she's like, "That's not what this cost. I do have an expensive running shirt though.
yeah,
It's for running in the snow."
you need a good shirt for that. And we get much like in Hannah Takes the Stairs, another shot of her on the toilet for some reason. You might have a
Yeah. This is one of his
a
little auteur
fixation.
things. Yeah, his auteur fetishes or fixations, and it's Greta Gerwig sitting on the toilet, which I don't know. Maybe that's why they fought and didn't speak for 3 months, and they haven't really done anything together since.
Possibly, and her her star has risen, and his has remained in obscurity.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's made like what 45 movies since this, and I've heard of 5 of them.
45 movies, and I think if you combine the cost of all of his movies, it probably costs less than Lady Bird. And they've probably all made less than the cost of Lady Bird as well.
I don't know. Some of them have Olivia Wilde and Anna Kendrick in them, like one we'll cover later. So I'm sure that cost a little bit.
Maybe.
And I'm sure that they were able to veto any toilet scenes.
They had enough,
'Cause-
yeah, and enough clout to like, no, you will not
yeah.
film me on the
No,
toilet.
no thanks. I think we're just going to do this where I'm sitting on a chair in a not bathroom, just like a normal chair.
Anna Kendrick's like,
Perhaps,
I've been in a movie with George Clooney. I'm not sitting on the toilet for you.
yeah, yeah. I don't. Authenticity is good, but there are limits.
Yeah, and there is one line that like seemed interesting, and I was just like, I kind of think if you extrapolate on it, like there's the kind of the idea of like, do you ever worry about what story you're gonna be in someone else's life? And I don't know, like I thought about it for the characters, and it's like, well, in Joe Swanberg's life, this would be like, oh, like I met this really cool girl, and all this, whatever, and she rocked, and we were doing all this stuff, and I don't know what went wrong, man. And then the Greta Gerwig version is like, oh, like I dated this guy who was terrible, and because I was had low self esteem and didn't value myself and chose poorly, and boy,
All my
that
friends
goatee
said the
was a
goat.
poor
Yeah.
choice.
Well, my friend said the goatee was like a red flag that is on fire with sirens attached to it, and yet, uh, too much of my life.
And then we go a year into the future. He's His hair is better, no goatee. He's in New York because he's doing press for the video game he was making. And she's just still in nursing school, kind of living her life. It seems like in the beginning, like it's like, oh, like she has her stuff together and he's like floundering. But then like a year later, it's almost like kind of like flipping that on its head, where it's like, oh, he's got this video game where he's doing press for and at this convention or whatever, and she's like living in this shitty apartment and she's trying to water her plants, but the pots keep leaking, and she's trying to, dress up, but she doesn't have a belt, so she has to use rope and like
Oh, I was watching the rope thing and I was like, I don't remember that being a fashion trend, but I also was really bad at paying attention to fashion in 2008.
yeah.
So this very well could have been something that I experienced regularly and just didn't notice.
Well, she pulls it off, but I
Yeah.
guess yeah, the main crux of them in New York is like he's like, hey, like I'm gonna go to like a photo shoot later, and you should come to the photo shoot.
Yeah. And then they go to the photo shoot that is ostensibly for his video game thing that he's doing, but in reality is about 15 minutes of them shooting the poster and cover art for the DVD of this movie in real time.
Yeah, and they're wearing matching clothes,
Yes.
which is kind of funny.
Yeah. And then it just keeps going, and I'm thinking, I've never seen the actual creation of the promotional art for a movie featured in the movie itself. Usually that's a special feature if they bother to include it, which they almost
Yeah,
never do.
yeah.
But no, that's the climax of the movie.
That is, yeah, the most exciting part. They're taking their photos together, and
Yeah.
and then they go back to his hotel, and they're like looking at the photos again for like another 5
Another
or so
five
minutes.
minutes. This movie is 80 minutes long, and at least a quarter of it is devoted to the promotional images used to sell the movie. The
You're
production and
pinching
approval of.
you're pinching pennies. You gotta, be creative. But yeah, like she goes into the bathroom to get comfortable, and she like gets like I don't know. It seems like she's just uncomfortable, like doesn't know what to do, and like a little uncomfortable, like about like what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Ends up putting on a robe and stepping out. And he does give her the note to like, oh, it's funnier if you put your hand in the robe pocket, which I will. That is also, credit where
Yeah.
credit's due. It is funnier when she puts the hand in the pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, all right, a broken clock strikes the right time twice a day or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But he's
Yeah.
still dressed up in his
The very
whatever nice
2008 sweater
clothes.
button-up shirt combination. A look that I said I didn't really pay attention to fashion, and that is mostly true, but I did do the sweater over a button-up shirt thing a lot because one time somebody complimented me on it, and so I was just like, well, that felt pretty good. I'm gonna do this all the time now. And it was diminishing returns.
Yeah, I like that because I'm not good at like ironing my shirts, so it's a nice way to
That too.
hide a
Yeah.
wrinkled shirt. But
Yeah.
this leads to more nudity from both of them, and
Yeah.
they're trying to trying to get intimate, as they say, and it's not working. He's not doing it for her, and
Now she seems confused by this, but to the astute observer, it is because she's trying to have sex with Joe Swanberg, who unfortunately we have spent the rest of this movie getting to know. So we totally get why this isn't working.
yeah, she's like saying like, "Oh, it's like help me get wet," and he's like, "Oh, like scooch up here," and then it gets uncomfortable because she's like, I don't like that. Like, how am I supposed to do that? He's like, just come up here, just and she's like, yeah, I don't like that, and then you know, kind of
Yeah.
kills the mood.
Yeah. And then she gets dressed.
And then I think they're at like the airport, and he's going back to Chicago, and he's like crying, and then the movie ends,
Yeah. And then
and
she
it's
shoots him.
unclear.
Just kidding.
But then she murders him. No,
Oh,
it's unclear if he's crying because he's sad to be leaving her, or if he's crying because she broke up with him. And I hope it's the latter, because
yeah.
yeah,
Maybe it's I gave up my goatee for this.
I shaved my
That's what
goatee and you broke up with me.
yeah. I should have listened to my friends and kept that shitty goatee that they said was funny in a good way, not a they're making fun of me way. Yeah. Anyway, that's how the movie ends. The end.
Yeah, and it's kind of just been bashing Joe Swanberg the whole time, and yeah, listen to some interviews with him, and he seemed nice on the interviews, but then just
Yeah.
he has a punchable face. I don't know what it is. This is like your vibe and your acting in the movie is. I do not like it.
Like he what he does with his movies should feels like it should be for me. Like
Mhm.
I like the idea of this. I have a note that it feels like what he's trying to do is the same thing that Cassavetes did, where he was trying to film the parts of the story that traditional films don't always show. It's
Mhm.
just when Cassavetes does it, it's engaging and he finds the interesting moments in there. And so much of this just feels like we're catching conversations without context. And so it just feels like we're watching two strangers that we don't really want to be watching. Like the type of people that would fight in your apartment hallway, and so you would turn up the TV to mask their dumb argument.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, in the movie, they are the TV. So
Yeah.
turning it up just makes it more of that.
Yeah, like you get like I feel like you get more of a sense of Greta's character and who she is in this movie than his. Like he just kind of seems pretty
That's
blank the whole
interesting
time. And
because she has the much bigger career as an actress and a writer and a director. So that's really interesting that it shook out that way.
yeah, and it's just yeah, like I like yeah, you bring up like the before movies, like especially like Before Midnight, where that is a whole movie of people arguing, but it's
So
really
at least
interesting and compelling. Like
when they're arguing, it's like revealing things about who they are as
yeah,
characters. Whereas in this movie, it just seems like what they're revealing is the other person just did something annoying, which we witnessed,
exactly.
so we know that.
Yeah. Like
We
yeah,
are
like it
already annoyed.
right yeah, like they're trying for authenticity in this way where it's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna shoot at low budget and improvise and just kind of figure it out." But like
And that's something that I should love.
yeah,
It
but
sounds like the type of thing that I would be very excited to watch.
then it's just like yeah, there's no sense of who the people are or like it's just yeah, like they remain strangers the whole time. Like even at the end, it's like okay, it's like I still like don't know much about these people besides just like very basic details that like are seem very surface
Yeah.
level. Like again, like
And
like him bringing like the conversation like oh like do you ever worry what story you're going to be in someone else's life? It's like okay, like that's an interesting thought. Like let's dig into that, and then it's just like nothing
uh, anyway,
and.
here's my hog again.
Got to shower
And
again and yeah, go full frontal for
yeah.
some reason. And I mean, yeah, Joe Swanberg's made so many freaking movies, and I know I because I think of other artists who just are so prolific in their work, and
Like
it's just
Woody Allen.
like Woody Allen or someone. I mean, someone I like that does that. At least they did it for a stretch. Was like Electric Six, when it's like, all right, you're coming out with an
Oh
album
yeah.
every year, and I like you guys, but it seems like every album, like there are like a few great songs, mostly good songs, and a couple bad songs. Like, is there a way to just
Yeah.
like filter out that process and get like one album of like bangers? Like maybe just one. Like, is
Electric
there a way to like develop a project and do things where it's like spending energy and focus on like developing and expanding something that's able to kind of reach its full potential?
but at least with Electric 6, they're purposely not trying to make like something that explains the human
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
They're specifically there to make silly songs about how everybody's coming to McDonald's or
Yes.
how they buy the drugs or they like to party and dance. Like
They're silly boys.
yeah, one of their albums, it was a big deal that the word dance was not featured in any of the
Yeah.
titles. And he said, "Well, don't worry. We've replaced that word with drugs and partying and sex. So, like, we have not lost our spirit."
Exactly.
And yeah, that album has some of my favorite of their songs on it.
It's a good time, but yeah, it's and we're only going to be covering one more Swanberg, Drinking Buddies, which again has some more of the high profile people, the
Yeah.
Ron Livingstons and your Anna Kendricks and Olivia Wildes and your Jake Johnsons and
Yeah.
but this whole
All
series could
people
be
that are
because he made so
yeah.
many movies, it could just be like all Swanberg, and
We could spend 2
that would be
years.
tough. That'd be
Yeah.
tough.
We could spend 2 years and then this podcast ends with a murder suicide and I'm not sure who would be which part of that.
Yeah, and
So,
something that I think I feared initially, like going through Mumblecore, is like, oh, it's like this is gonna feel samey. We're just gonna kind of feel trapped in this milieu. But at least so far within the series, like everything has kind of been. It's we're seeing the progression of this trend of
yeah.
this genre. We're seeing new voices enter into it, and we're seeing really interesting zags, like with Frownland, where it's like this is going to be
Yeah.
completely different from what you've seen before. And this is kind of the first one where it's like okay, yeah, this is kind of the same. Like, there's
But
nothing
it just
fresh.
feels like everyone else is like kind of pushing and doing interesting things, and then his movies are here to remind us what the baseline of where this really started is. But the thing is, like,
Yeah.
the later ones get more interesting, and these ones stay just like, all right, well, that's pretty good for a first. Jesus, this is your 50th.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it like Frownland was a notable leap forward in everything that I want out of a movie.
Yeah. It's it
And
was
this is,
yeah, trying for something very specific and kind of yeah, doing a very interesting thing within like independent like micro
yeah,
budget cinema.
yeah, uh,
It had a point of view.
yeah. And this is just, I could have gotten this if I hung out in the stairwell of any building that I've lived in.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like long distance relationships are hard. It's like everyone knows
Yeah,
that.
no shit. That's why every time someone's like, maybe I'll get into, maybe we'll do this long distance, all their friends say, "Are you sure?
Seems like a bad idea.
Is that what you really want to do?" Because I'm telling you right now, like, you're not calling me about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But again, like there were like again several moments of authentic feelings and things like that were nice, but again, like 80 minutes of just
that's the other thing.
non-contextual bickering. It's just like it's just too much. It's short, but it's too much.
It is a long 80 minutes.
Yeah.
And a, a long 80 minutes. Like, Frownland was almost a half hour longer, and that flew by for me.
Oh
And
yeah.
this one, I was just like, God, I really hope one of them does anything interesting soon. We are running out of time for them to do anything interesting.
Last 20 minutes photo shoot. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, yeah. So, needless to say, this was not been my favorite one that we've watched.
Yeah, kind of a letdown after Frownland. And even I mean this was a lot sadder than Hannah Takes the Stairs even. Like there is like a sadness to the movies. It's just not a great vibe to hang out with and not interesting enough to like stay in that vibe.
Yeah. There's a sadness to it, but we don't like the characters or even know them enough
Yeah.
for that sadness to mean anything at all. So it's just, oh, well, that sucks for them.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I never see them again. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
Nights and Weekends. Please check out
It
The Art of John McNaughton.
at least they do see each other on night at night and on weekends, so it's
Yeah,
the title doesn't lie like
there is
Hannah
no
Takes the
rug
Stairs.
pull.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then next week, I believe we have a guest that is a human and will chime in a bit
Oh,
more than the fly and my cat. Um, we're covering Yeast by Mary Bronstein, which is back
yeah.
into abrasive territory, but it's a movie I like.
And I haven't seen, and I'm going. The timing worked out great because on Monday at the Hollywood Theater here in Portland, we have a night with Mary Bronstein. They'll be showing Yeast and one of her short films, and If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and she's doing a Q&A. So I will
Yeah.
hopefully have some good nuggets and tidbits, and if I have enough courage, I might ask a question about Frownland.
Yeah, I am very jealous because I really like Yeast and loved If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And yeah, she seems like the coolest. I watched her Criterion Closet video, and every pick was like, yep, that's a good one.
There you go.
That's
But
my type of person.
she seems cool. She married Ron, so she's on the level.
Yeah. She likes Lynch, specifically Inland Empire, which is how you know if somebody really likes Lynch.
Yeah.
Inland Empire is good, actually.
I just said that, like, is Inland Empire a Mumblecore movie? I don't know.
It's
I mean, it's kind of filmed like one.
it's kind of filmed like one, and there are a lot of characters that mumble. It's just they're a lot scarier than anybody in even in Frownland.
It's true. It is. Inland Empire is terrifying.
Yeah, but then it ends on such like a joyous note with
Hmm.
that dance in the house.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I
It's,
don't kn I wouldn't say I fully understand that movie, but I
no.
love the experience of watching it.
It's yeah, I love just the dudes dressed up as lumberjacks on in the background of the dance sequence.
Yeah, there's a lot to
That's great.
unpack, and then there's a lot that will just never make sense, and that's kind of why it's there. And it's 3 hours and feels shorter than this movie. Just because there's
Somehow.
always something happening or you're involved with whatever's happening even if you don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, that is true. You
Yeah.
yeah, you could watch this movie 2 or 3 times in the span of
Yeah.
Inland Empire, and I think yeah, you're right on the
But you
money.
should.
Inland Empire feels shorter. Don't watch
Yeah.
Inland Empire instead. You can
Yeah.
watch it in a better quality now. I watched well, the first time I watched it, it was some shitty rip on YouTube.
Well, the thing about that movie is its genesis is David Lynch bought a mini DV cam like what's used in Mumblecore and
Mhm.
basically called up Laura Dern and said, "I bought a new camera. Let's go filming." And then they just like started filming stuff and he's just started building his movie around whatever they would randomly film and it became what I feel is a really cool weird movie that I like a lot.
Me too. But,
Yeah.
speaking of good things or maybe bad things, knowing you, Greg, but what have you been watching?
Unfortunately, I only watched good things. Uh, so I've had family in town. I made them watch Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie with me.
Oh, yeah.
That, yeah, that is just a good time at the movies. I beg of you, audience, please seek that movie out. Give it a good 8 or so watches. It works great as just like a fun, lighthearted, independent comedy that's very funny. But on top of that, it's just fascinating to watch and know that they shot so much of that in public with no permits, so all the reactions around them are real to some degree. And just like trying to figure out how the fuck they did it and how they got away with it.
Yeah.
Like, I watched an interview with the mayor of Toronto about that movie today,
Oh, wow.
and she loved it. She thought it was really funny. And they're like, "So are they in trouble?" And she's like, "Well, no, I think they should just keep doing what they're doing because it's really good and funny." They probably broke like 10 or 11 bylaws just in the CN Tower jump, but it was worth it because this is such a great thing for Canada and
Oh, yeah.
Toronto specifically to produce that it's hard to be upset about it. And like you could tell that like she really did enjoy the movie.
That is
Yeah.
great to hear because it is a good time.
Yeah, it's so funny. I made them watch that, and then I watched My Cousin Vinny, which is obviously just a classic.
Classic.
So funny. And
Mm.
then I watched John Waters' Female Trouble, which also a classic.
Nice. He's doing an 80th birthday thing in Portland at the Aladdin Theater. I'm not
Oh,
sure when.
if it's in late June, we are
That would be a great time.
sneaking in because I would love to meet John Waters. I don't know what I would say, but that would make my whole life.
I would be like, "Have you heard of Stavros?"
And he probably has. He's pretty in tune with what's going
Yeah.
on. He's a
Just
sharp
make a
guy.
movie and put Stavros in it naked. That's that's what we
Like,
need.
yeah, I would I'd be there opening day. I
Yeah.
love John Waters. Anyway, what have you been watching?
I have been watching well, I went and saw, Project Hail Mary. They're showing it in 70 millimeter here, and had a great time. I think, like I mentioned, I think just seeing something in 70 millimeter at the Hollywood Theater just bumps it up like a full star rating because I loved it. I had a fantastic time.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw that yesterday, but the Mario movie has taken the large format quote unquote
Uh,
IMAX theaters here, so I just watched it regular style, and I liked it, but I don't think nearly as much as you did.
yeah, I loved it. I mean, I loved
Uh,
The Martian as well, and it's kind of
yeah,
the unofficial sequel or whatever. But yeah,
yeah,
compared to The Gray Man, it's nice to see Ryan Gosling have a charisma and interesting things to do and be likable.
yeah. For me, it really picked up when Rocky shows up. I wasn't loving it, and then Rocky shows up, and I was fully on board from that point on.
And it's the whole yeah, because I wasn't too hyped to see this movie before it came out, but
Yeah,
because of the positive feedback, I'm like, okay, well, it seems like I should go see it in the theater. And yeah, the Rocky thing, it's like, oh, this could if it was handled that was one of those things that seems very high risk, high reward, and they were able to pull
yeah.
it off. And I think because they made Rocky a puppet and did like a lot of cool puppet things and gave
That
him a
is
nice like
yeah, specifically what I really loved about
yeah,
Rocky was that it was a tangible puppet that looked
yes.
cool and made me feel things.
Yeah. There is, yeah, some
Yeah.
some emotional devastation that, is
Yeah.
related to Rocky, that it's but you do you feel way more connected to Rocky than any character in Nights and Weekends.
Yeah. And Rocky only speaks English through a magic computer.
I would give my life for Rocky.
Yeah. And I would avoid I would run a little bit faster into my apartment if I saw these people eating in the stairwell.
Yeah, but, yeah, I love, like, some of the weird side characters, the actors that showed up. It's like you have I forget his name, but he's one of the guys from The Bear, the pastry cook guy is in it.
I haven't really watched The Bear.
Oh, speaking of Chicago, man, they're all about I don't know if they
Yeah.
ever go to the Bean.
Well, that's a missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. And then the lady from
From
Tony
AT&T?
Erdman is in it. Is good.
Oh, well, and the lady from the AT&T
They-
commercials.
Who, when we lived in LA, my wife gave a massage to her because she's friends with Sam Reich, who was my wife's
Oh,
client.
yeah, that they seem like they're in very similar circles.
Yeah, and
So that
it was. I
tracks.
guess there was like someone doing. There was some remodel. Something else was happening at her place when my wife went to do the massage, and it was a. So it was I guess a weird experience, but
Yeah.
she is in it as a
Yeah.
Russian.
Yeah. Yeah, I lean positive on it, even though there are things that I didn't like and things in the beginning that like didn't grab me as much as I wanted. But yeah, overall, I would say I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good like the competency porn where it's like, all right, here are smart people being smart and figuring things out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm into that.
And like I said, I like My Cousin Vinny, so it's not that it
Yeah,
wasn't like abrasive and it wasn't Frownland, so I didn't love it. No, it was I like happy movies sometimes. It just yeah, it didn't quite click for me like it seems to have clicked for so many. So, it's probably just a personal taste thing more than anything.
yeah, including me. And I guess
Yeah.
another notable thing, I went to the live theater and saw Les Miserables,
Was Russell
which
Crowe mumbling through it?
fortunately not.
Oh, that's good.
See, I grew up watching on PBS. They'd show like this 10-year anniversary with like all the best people who had ever performed in it, and so that was like the version in my head. So I even saw it like live 30 years ago, and so like can't remember it. But so when but I'd
Right.
listen to the recording and watch it whenever it came on PBS during their fundraising drives, and I get they're amazing singers, and so So any
Yeah.
other version is hard for me to accept, especially one with where Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman are singing, because I think their voices are terrible. And
Yeah.
this production was very good. It, not, it's, I hold it to very high standards, and it was, it's an affecting. I don't know. It is a musical that I have a very strong emotional attachment to. So
And
it delivered on that. So I thought it was very good.
as a person with no attachment to that musical, the only part that I liked in it was the Anne Hathaway part in the movie. I thought she was really good, and then she dies pretty quick, and then there's still like 3 hours left. And I'm pretty
Pretty
sure my mom watched that PBS thing that you're talking about because we
hmm
lived in Utah
Oh yeah.
then, and we watched a lot of PBS. We were a very PBS household. And I remember her and my aunt, who lived in the little apartment beneath us, always talking about Les Mis. I'm pretty sure they watched it and loved it. And then my mom had a very similar reaction to the movie that you had,
Yeah.
which is this is not quite it. And
Well,
I was annoyed because that movie is like they built all those elaborate, expensive sets, and then the camera, they decided to set it an inch away from every actor's face at all times, so it might as well have been filmed in the parking lot of an IHOP.
you gotta see that emotionality. But the Jean Valjean from that 10-year anniversary All Star edition is in the movie. He plays the priest, or the
Oh,
fa- who gives Hugh Jackman the candlesticks.
I
Hmm.
have no memory of that.
I didn't either until I looked his name up, and it's like, oh, I guess he was in the movie.
I have no
Because
memory
he's
of that scene. I remember the Anne Hathaway scene because that was good, and then I remember Russell Crowe, but he's a criminal and that's bad to do, or whatever the hell he's singing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that is
Yeah,
Javert's vibe.
yeah,
But yeah, the theater is good when you can
that's good.
make it out.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you have like an attachment to that musical. I bet that was
Yeah,
rad.
had a great time.
It would be like if I went to go see what's a musical I like. I'm blanking,
Um,
but like it's not because I don't like musicals. I do.
do you like
Oh,
Book
West
of
Side
Mormon?
Story.
Oh, West Side Story.
West Side Story would be like that for me. That's the one
Mhm.
that I really liked as a kid and think both filmed versions that exist now are mostly pretty great.
Nice.
So I would, yeah, I guess that would be the one for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Greg, do we have people we need to thank?
we do. We are once again thanking Nicholas Don Smith for our beautiful art.
Thank you.
The depicting the moments before the murder suicide that would come from watching 3 years of Joe Swanberg movies. Um, I would like to thank Lumbermouth for editing and doing our theme music.
Thank
I
you
would like to thank us again for giving ourselves this opportunity, which feels
for
corny
killing
to
it.
say, but it's nice to have something to do. And
Yes.
that is fun, even when we watch nights and weekends. Uh, it's funner to talk about than to watch, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And I would also like to thank all of you that are still listening to this. Enjoy the Minions memes.
Send a Minions meme to a
Yeah,
loved one. That's our ask.
yeah, yeah. Post one on your Facebook tonight. No context. Refuse to explain yourself.
Find the weirdest or most
Yeah,
upsetting Minions
yeah,
meme you have, and share it with the world.
yeah. Let the people know what's going on. All right.
Alrighty. Take care of yourself, sickos.